Am I making this video because he's releasing a new show tomorrow? Yes. Am I capitalizing and trying to steal some of the attention? Yes. Did I procrastinate too long and now I'm rushing this out the door? Maybe. It's been 5 years since his last video on YouTube, but Jus Reign is finally back in full force in the form of a TV show in Canada. To say he was gone for a long time is an understatement. After 5 years of sporadically appearing on other people's social media whilst looking like he was drowning in debt, Jasmeet has finally returned. You know, 5 years ago, Leo won an Oscar, Rihanna released an album, Drake Budgie released an album, Harambe died, the Olympics happened, Brexit still has happened, and Kim Kardashian got robbed. Also Donald Trump. It's been forever since he's been gone. The world has evolved. I don't even know if he'll be the same. He wasn't even around for TikTok.
You know he wasn't dead, right?
I know, but he didn't say goodbye. So Late Bloomer is coming out on a streaming service called Crave, which is like the Canadian version of Stan. From their website, they do have stuff from HBO, so maybe international people will see it on Max. Hopefully it comes out elsewhere, otherwise I have no idea how I'm gonna watch this video. So this is going to be a little bit of a refresher course on all the shit that Jus Reign made in previous years. These are videos that are most loved by the audience. We'll see how many of them still stand up and or have fallen flat, like what I just said there. I might be biased. I'll add some of my own commentaries so it makes it a bit transformative. Okay, let's go.
Greetings! Hey, look, the blue wall's back. Of course it's back. It never went anywhere, and it's never gonna go anywhere. So shut up. I'm so sorry I was talking bad about
you. The least relatable video. To be honest, this did set up my expectation of what would happen. And from, you know, people around me, I've heard a lot of it is true.
Or how about when MSN used to be popping? Remember that? The good old days. And our parents used to think that they had an idea of what chit-chatting used to be.
Never had MSN, but I've always been nostalgic for it. Kind of like romanticizing the idea of what millennials had. It must suck to see your culture being gentrified.
How about those times that you got booked for lying about where you were? I used to tell my mom that I was going over to my friend's house for a few days.
Reporting back, that's still some shit you have to do. Like I'm a secret agent, I have to give them a field report on what I got up to. Little tip, if you want to stop this from happening, just stop giving consistent info. They'll either kill you or they'll give up on you and focus on their child who has more prosperous endeavors in their life. In the end, it's a win-win.
Technology. What ends up being one little thing that you had to show them turns into pretty much you doing everything for like the next 2 hours.
I think the handling of technological tasks will never end, and I can't wait to have some kids of my own and ask them how to make the Elon chip work with my Apple Vision 16 Pro Max, now with iPod touchscreen scroll wheel.
I never in a million years thought my parents would ever be on Facebook. They're not white, but then one day I log into Facebook. And what do I see?
Game over.
This video single-handedly stopped me from adding my parents to my Facebook because I just thought it was going to be uncool. I didn't want to do that. I thought it would suck, you know? And it's been great. It's been really good and I haven't noticed any bad things. I've just added them. I don't even use Facebook anymore. It's a dead platform. It's fine. We're all on Instagram, which is still owned by Facebook, so we're all still under their control, so it doesn't matter. Corporations have ruined us and we're fucking... This is not political. Let's not get political. Eventually, I did have to cave in when I got addressed directly, when I didn't add them on any of my social medias, with emotional blackmail, which is the most effective tool that all parents have out there. It'll be good. Don't worry about the ramifications.
When did they start using WhatsApp? Next thing you know, you'll have what? Punjabi folk songs about it too? Did I just see that, or was that a real thing?
WhatsApp really became its own beast in the Asian community, so much so that John Jatun made a segment about it in his own show, Pichhle Hafte Horn.
Welcome to the third installment of Desi Parents and Blank. Judging by the title, you already know what the blank is and what we're going to be talking about today. Desi Parents and Guess. Hanji.
I was 11 when this video came out. 11. It's the complete. Got to be one of the most iconic taglines of his whole YouTube career. It summarizes that whole, distills what that feeling is when you get talked down to you by your folks.
Parents decide, hey, let's showcase our children and make them depict their amazing and marvelous talents to our guests. Just right out of the blue. Hey, it's not up to you to decide on how you're going to be showcased. It's up to your parents.
This is probably one of the more timeless videos because the shit still happens, except you grow older. And if your guests have kids, you gotta entertain them now, which is fine if you're the same age, but if you're younger, what are you gonna talk to them about? Oh yeah, never mind. They're all iPad babies. I don't have to do shit. I can just, here's an iPad and they'll do all the work for me. Thanks. Thank you, Apple.
I got my car mashed the other day. Dude, what the f?
Never have I related to a video less. I've been to a couple of Desi mechanics and they've all been fine. On the other hand, I did go to one Gora one and he ripped me off.
The Gore are only here to rip you off. That's why the Gore live in this world. If you love the Gore so much, then Gore de border chicha ke baad, I don't care.
I don't know, Justice Dad might have had a point. Babu's characters never cease to amaze me. Every time they're just the most accurate version of the character he's portraying, because that's how that works.
Now this uncle was my favorite because he was like really religious, but also like to swear a lot.
The second character that Babu plays is someone I have definitely met in my life. I've heard that person say those exact lines coming out of his buta. It's amazing how much is still accurate to this day. Like, how do you do that stuff?
Ever try out white people food?
Okay.
Now, this video came around when BuzzFeed was popping the F off, and it's accurate as hell.
Honestly, I think you guys are just getting lazy. You don't want to cook the shit, so you steam it. Like, technically speaking, I could cook this in the shower. Why you are only cooking with the water, man?
Never ceases to amaze me how the British went to India, stole spices and shit from there, then they were just as content with eating salt and pepper. And vinegar if they were feeling feisty. Why did I write fisty? If they were feeling fisty. And vinegar if they were feeling feisty. Plus some other stuff, you know, history, blah, blah, blah.
What is this, like a warm thing?
It's cream and mashed potatoes.
Why are they so broken up like this, bro?
The idea of mashed potato has always been fascinating to me. I always imagine it being velvety smooth with complex flavors while still being kind of subdued, but like very complex. The shit sucks. It's not good. No offense to your culture, you know. I don't mean a disrespect. If you like eating that bland shit, that's more power to you.
Nah.
We're gonna look at how Indian parents react with money, with finances, buying stuff.
This is probably one of the more older videos on this top 10 list. It's not as animated as these other ones, you know, really steps into it afterwards. Relatively short as well, you know, doesn't hit that 10-minute mark that we all used to have to do.
The guy, and I was like, yo, nah, I'm getting this shit. When I got home, my dad wasn't too happy with it. Probably because of the price was just a little bit too high for his limits. The price was just above.
You know, the lecture now doesn't like, I haven't had it where I've spent their money on a shirt, but now that I'm older, I have a job. I spend my own money. But still, I have to justify when I buy something expensive, and when I go home, like, what am I gonna tell them? I have to like, oh, this thing, you know, it's expensive because being the Indian that I am, I still have that mentality of finding a deal. So it's not like I will go out and frivolously spend money. Some members of my family, they don't share this mentality with me.
My dad was on the phone, sent into a little bit of an argument, a ruffle, a truffle, or a fight.
Also, the jokes are pretty sparse. Technically, only 2 jokes in this whole video. There's one where he talks about buying the shirt, and the second one is him racking up a massive phone bill, and then the other one technically is just their parents fighting. That never happens. It's fictional. It's a comedy. Haha. Jokes. Far out. That segues well into the next video. A lot of it still happens. I saw it happen a lot in my life, even going over to my cousins and relatives' house. One relative was particularly more leaning towards this video in their remedies and how they treated their ailments.
How about the random relatives that come over when you're sick, all of a sudden conveniently become expert doctors?
The worst is when you have guests over and someone brings up an ailment they're having, everyone just becomes the good doctor. Step-by-step advice and having all the letters and shit running through their head. Rona was probably the peak of this, hearing remedies being shared around to relatives from such a pristine medical source such as Facebook Watch, WhatsApp, and TikTok too. It's not just for kids.
There's a point in our life where we reach manhood or womanhood and that we need to learn how to operate a vroom vroom dang dang dang. And the thing is, they expected you to know everything as soon as you started. Even when I was about to start the car, there'd be 10 things that I wasn't doing right, but I would never know what it was.
This is another one I could not relate less to. Why would I go to someone and pay for them to teach me how to drive? Because I didn't have this kind of instructor doesn't mean that I didn't have some of these not lectures, advice given to me while I was practicing, but you know, saving money.
You think you're a cool guy driving one-hand coffee, one-hand car, 10 and you think that's cool? Go outside, get another car. Accident, everybody dead, my dad, you dead. Who's gonna drink the coffee then, my friend?
It's good. It really ingrains it in here on how to drive properly on the road because it's important and you don't want to be a hoon, which is like, Google it. I'm not.
So without further ado, Desi parents and school.
Getting this in the second year of my high school days was amazing because it gave me some solace that I am not alone in what I'm doing and not unique. So why do we fight with each other? It's so stupid. We all do the same shit anyways.
First things first is the comparison lecture. Every time I would be studying in my room, my mom would always find the need to come in and just linger by the door.
School के में
It's good.
friends,
It's good.
teachers किंदा थे
Also good.
ते marks.
The number of times I'll be in my room studying, definitely, and a parent will just come in and to check up if I'm actually studying. The number of times I could count on one hand if I had more than 5 fingers.
And I hated lunchtime because my mom would always pack the most basic lunches. Roti, dal, dahi. That as soon as you open the lid, the aromas would just instantly begin to fill up the room. Now, I in no way am undermining Indian food. But like, come on man, how you gonna explain this shit to white kids?
My school was full of gore. Gore? Whoa, don't ever say it like that again. Although my school was full of gore, whenever I got to bring Indian food, I always relished it. I'd much rather eat that than having like chips and bread. That's still, I don't know how you guys just eat that all the time. It's the most... I went to a predominantly full Gora school. Despite that, every time I would bring some home-cooked food and, you know, heat it up in the microwave, I would never hear a complaint. They would always be interested in what I'm eating. Maybe, you know, people got more tolerant. Also, I liked the smell of tadka. Am I like the only one? Anytime I watch a YouTuber back then, they'd always like say how bad tadka smelled. I've never had that problem. I always thought it smelled great. This comes with the slight caveat that we've always had a ventilation shaft in our family. I've never had to endure that smell. So if people had to do it out there, I'm sorry, but cope.
Worst.
What's this? Behavior तेरा good नहीं? आज तो बाद टीवी बंद, कंप्यूटर बंद, फोन बंद, मम्मी बंद, डैडी बंद, फ्रेंड बंद, वॉशरूम बंद, खाना बंद, पीना बंद.
This is probably another one of my most favorite bits from his videos, Ajtabad. It really does feel like that if you have one mark go off. Just the amount of things that you have to stop doing. Also, it's just funny. Like, how do I stop breathing, man? It's almost like it's a comedy or something.
Punjabi!
This being the last and the most viewed video on his channel, apart from the music videos, every single point in this video has happened to me in one variation or another.
There was one guy in my high school. Do you know him by any chance?
Like exactly how the video went to a very vague reimagining, like a remix you could say.
Do you sleep with that thing on? Do you shower with that thing on? Do you eat with that thing on? Do you shit with that thing on?
I've seen stuff from this video happen to me from people I've just met, to people I could consider a mate, to co-workers, to complete strangers who I've never met but just had to let me know. Even after all these years, it still hits just as hard as when this first came out.
The TV and they're dancing like yeah, you guys dance funny, man.
On a slight tangent, I never understood white people the way they dance. It feels really slow. That's why they don't have any rhythm. All of their dances just has melodies. We have both.
Punjabi!
Some honorable mentions. Now, these are some of the stuff that I feel like I don't know how to shoehorn into the rest of the video, so I'm just gonna say them here. Like all of his parody ad videos like Banan Wow, AAA Tugboat Insurance, Airwick, iPhone 22G, Desi Law, Brown Tinder. All of these videos were iconic. Also, we can't ignore the massive library of music this guy has made. The Gita Brothers, those Christmas albums, 2 of them, which he went on tour with, which also happened to be his last video. Finally disbanding everything, which is, you know, it was a really, why was that his last video? What couldn't have been anything? The music videos that he's done, like the hand clap dance, Crazy Library song, Skinny Skinny Waist, the Swag song, the Skype song, Goodbye remix, the Pinky song, Nacho Below, Bounce, which technically was a music video, but like it was just them dancing and there was no lyrics, except for this one part. So if you want to count that. My Way, Kabutana Di Shan, My Icy Spicy Girl, and the T-Series, which was his last song that he ever made. Before again, he just left with no explanation. Why did he do that? 2 videos that I really wanted to highlight was his pug tutorial, which he got rid of. One of the first videos I looked at and like try to learn how to tie my own turban. It was really cool having that info out there and spreading the cultural knowledge. I'd love for him to just make a new one because he's changed up his bug game, and I think I've seen actually him tying a traditional turban, so that would be cool seeing him give tutorials on that, but I'm not holding my breath. I don't think that shit's gonna happen. I'm glad the lad is back. He's been a huge inspiration to me even after all of this time, and I can't wait to get stuck into his new series and see all the new stuff that he might come out with, maybe in a faster time frame, I would hope. I wish him and everyone who worked on it good luck, and I'm rooting for that shit to pop the fuck off. Also, if you are watching this post or pre the show, I would say go subscribe to his channel. It's been sitting on 964 subs and it really deserves to hit 1 million at this point. There are so many desis out there. You're second in the world, I think. Surely we can manage that number. Share it with your friends, family, a random stranger that you don't know. Make fake accounts and subscribe to him that way. Actually, don't do that. And if you haven't seen his videos in a while, go take a trip through memory lane and remember all the good old days and how it used to be better. And now you have to deal with real life. Goodbye. Really, I want him to come back to YouTube after this. Once he's done his show stuff, I would like him to come back. I don't think he will. I hope he does. He probably might move on to better stuff. What would I want him to say? Have we even thought about, like, if he does come back, what he'll say? Maybe it's nothing important. Maybe, far out. Maybe what if we built it too much in our heads? Okay, I'm not thinking anymore. Bye-bye.